Hey, it's Kenlin, and welcome back to my channel for the Astro and Energy micro report on this Venus-Neptune conjunction that's happening right now. I'm recording this on May 2nd, and it's a tight conjunction for a couple of days. Even for throughout the rest of May, we're going to find out that these guys are in a conversation together. And so, what does that mean for you and me as we're getting rebooted in our sense of love, universal love and personal love? This is a conversation between Venus and Neptune. That's what a conjunction is. I like to look at those tight conjunctions where they operate as one, as this kiss, this embrace, maybe even this sexual act, this union. And then they break up, but they're still in a conversation because Neptune's very slow and Venus is pulling away because Venus has work to do. Her job is to go visit the other aspects of your chart, of your life, and spread this sparkle dust all around. So let's remember Venus, Neptune, they were in a conversation in Pisces when all this dissolution was happening, when people were dying, when businesses were going away, when major shifts were happening in your personal life. There was a point when Venus was sandwiched in between the North Node and Saturn. And Lori Lothian calls that a malefic enclosure. It doesn't sound really great, does it? I can feel like Venus is constrained. And indeed, during that time, there wasn't a lot of good movement that was happening. It was really just a lot of breakdown, a lot of intensity. And so maybe you have felt it, but now she's broken out. And I talk about this in my video for May 1st to May 8th, the Venus journey. And we're going to talk more here about that actual conversation. Like there's many things going on in the cosmos. It's just not a vacuum, but this is a big conversation. And we haven't ever had it in this degree point, the early 0 degrees of Aries, really ever in our lifetime. So, and we won't have it again. So we get to really mine, what does this mean? What are we going to pay attention to? What are we going to aspire toward? Because this Venus has already been through a lot. She's been through a ton. I mean, think about it. Retrogrades. And then after retrogrades, we've got, and during, before the eclipse cycles, like she's been through so much. She's had to reevaluate. And when I say she, I mean she in your life. You've had to reevaluate that archetype that lives in you, that personal expression of love, of money, of abundance or lack thereof, of your relationships, of your materiality, the way you adorn yourself. Everything shifted. She really went into a deep consideration of what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What am I doing? And she let go of a lot, didn't she? She had these connections with Saturn that was really giving her the imprint, the codes of, okay, we want to take what lasts. We want to really own what hasn't worked. We want to deal with the consequences of how we spent money, maybe how we idealized our image or idealized our relationships, like, oh, they're perfect. And we go out and get those family photos. I remember right before a breakup getting a family photo. It was just like my desperate attempt to like hold on to this ideal version of the perfect family or the perfect partner. Yeah. And really, God bless us for that. God bless our souls, like those attempts, but they are futile attempts. And now this Venus is wiser. She's more mature. She's really been through it. She then had the codes of the future. So she's taking this North Node in Pisces as she's breaking out from the Saturn and into this North Node territory. She's starting to get the download on who we're becoming as humans. What is even possible? What are the portals that are opening? And really, that was a conversation with Neptune in Pisces, as that Neptune in Pisces was closing out, completing, maturing like a fine wine, the end of that Neptune in Pisces era that started in 2011, that really birthed and blossomed the new age, like why we're here talking about this. And so we're now coming into a new frequency. She's gotten all the downloads. You've gotten the downloads. You've changed quite a bit. And then on April 30th, she moves into Aries, 0 degrees Aries. That's the cardinal, like world axis point. Venus, the goddess of love, relationships, materiality, finances, wealth. Boom, on the 0 degrees, fresh start. That was what that last video was about. This video, we're now saying, okay, they're in a conversation. What is that conversation? Why do we care? Well, we can see on the world scene that when we have a lack of love, when we are in scarcity, it shuts us down and we go into a default mechanism. And that default mechanism is going to get us into war. We've seen it. We have it, the pattern of it. And we're here to break the pattern. That's our job, break the pattern. But we can't break it alone. We are not superheroes meaning to break it alone. That is part of the idealization of our ego self. And Pluto in Aquarius is like, no, this belongs to a group. This is the group consciousness. So we're moving away out of that identity of I, and we can really feel that separate self identity of I. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's an evolution, and it's moving into we, and Venus is taking on those we codes. But there's no way we can do a we until we do an I first. So some of the precursors that Venus is hoping you will have received up to now, let's take a look at them. Are those precursors of, do you know who you are? Do you stand in your power? Do you have access to your womb, to your hara, to the power center 2 inches below your belly button? Do you have also access to your heart? And are they connected? Because the heart without the power center is like a doormat. It feels sorry for everyone. It takes responsibility for other people's emotions. I can't do that because they'll feel bad. Really? I'm not going to go into it because you should know by now. You already know by now. So we bring in our navel, we bring in our power, and that power by itself without the heart is what we've seen in the bro culture, the brotocracy. We're just, who cares about the poor people? Who cares about the immigrants? Who cares about anything other than me? Wow, we've seen that bull in a china shop wrecking everything just for its own display of power. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. So we want to unite the power and the heart. And in divine feminine women, we know the secret. We know the secret of the womb. We know the secret of the heart. And in the yogic traditions, the heart is the neutral place that alchemizes the lower center, the instinctual center, even this power with the higher centers, that higher frequency that Neptune represents. So here we are on this precipice of a new world, a new order. And out there, it is chaotic. There's lots of tentacles to draw you into fear. And we have a choice because Venus has just been through it. Not for naught, not all for naught, right? She's been through it to help us evolve. And now she's with Neptune, co-present with Neptune, joining as one. The ideal of love that represents the Christ consciousness, the ideal, that love that forgives sins, that love that forgives Maximus for putting that nail into the Christ's hand, the forgiveness, even the forgiveness as the Christ, example of the Christ bleeding on a cross, saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That love, knowing and getting that only ignorance is the thing that stands in the way. So with that metaphor, with that storyline that's archetypal, it's in our bodies. And yet we fall really deeply short of that. Let's face it, we do. And let's face it, the more our nervous system is triggered, the less capacity we have for that Christ consciousness. And so that's okay, because this is evolutionary. This is beyond you. And it takes aligning your attention, your intention, to really see and know that there is only love. That's an attention. That's an intention. So how do you walk around the world, the earth, your neighborhood? Do you walk up here just chattering and talking, or do you stop and generate that experience through your conscious awareness? That is a possibility. You can do that. And perhaps this conjunction is inspiring you to do it, because I got to tell you, this conjunction, it isn't about working and getting stuff done. I've been trying all day. It does not care. This conjunction is yin. This conjunction wants us to stop, chill, stop, but not check out. That would be the shadow side of it. Like, let's have a drink, let's take some mushrooms. And I'm not even saying mushrooms they can be deeply checking in, but for recreation and let's go to a concert, no, not so much. But let's create sacred space. Let's be in nature. Let's generate love. The Buddhists talk about luminous emptiness. And Andrew Holochek was once asked on this video that I watched about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, how come the Tibetans don't talk about love? And he's like, they do. It's called luminous emptiness. So that's the very substrate of everything we are swimming in, and we are blinded. And then sometimes the veil is lifted. So it might be that the veil gets lifted over this conjunction as the personal experience of love, how we experience it here in our 3D capacities, get this hit, this beam from the 5D, from Neptune. And so it's not a day really to try to do business. It's really a day to embody the things that later will inform your business, that will fill your business with Shakti. It will fill your business with love. It will fill your family with love. It's not a day to blow out idle chatter and just gossip or talk or throw it all away. It's a day to cultivate that love, that inner capacity for that love. And yeah, you're going to get triggered. And so the more that that power center is connected to the love center, you can handle it with a discerning sword. No, no, not okay. That's different than a totally triggered nervous system. And we can't promise that we're going to have non-triggered nervous systems in this change of an age, but now we're onto it. We know about it, right? The information has come to it. We have an awareness of our nervous systems, and we get to tend to them and strengthen them through our boundaries, through our clarity about what is really for us and what is not. And that's been Venus's journey. She has had to throw out friendships, places of living, businesses, projects, relationships. Did I say that already? People. She's had to say goodbye. Like, I bow to you, thank you, and I'm moving on. So in this time where she's in Aries, in this new beginning, and wherever Aries is in your chart, go look it up. You need to know. You need to know what your rising sign is, or these transmissions will have less meaning for you if you don't know what house is being lit up. And of course, there's geometry. So the house across the way could be lighting it up too. It's not one-dimensional, and it's very unique to you. So if you go on astro.com, you pull up your whole sign astrology chart. It's a special chart, and your whole sign will give you your rising. And from there, the wheel is set. The wheel of the zodiac is set, and you learn where Aries is, and you track it. It's in my 12th house. So there's just things I'm not even going to know. I'm not even going to be aware of for like a month. That's, how hard is that? So really, I have other assignments: to pay attention to my dream space, to make prayers to the ancestors, to walk the labyrinth, to get my feet on the ground, get my body surrounded by earth. And that's really for all of us. So the other things that we can use as a precursor to this divine love is being a trustworthy vessel of that love. And that love is big. That love can destroy us, because that love clears out like fire every impurity. And so our ego mind titrates, pushes on that. I can only handle so much. So to develop in our capacity, which means to do the shadow work, to clear the blocks to the love, the places where we project onto others, where we use you statements. I lead circles of women, and I hear we start off in a vulnerable share, and then we immediately pop it up to you. You know what I'm talking about? Where we say, like, I just went through this thing, and you know how it is when you do that thing, you get this, and then this. I've just depersonalized it. Why? Because it's too vulnerable. To own it as an I statement is the most vulnerable. And that's where we get to turn. Stop throwing it away as you statements. Stop being vague in your speech. If someone died and you're sad about it, I'm sad because so-and-so died. And this is what I'm learning, and this is how I'm taking it on. That's a Venus-Neptune conversation, because we're really allowing spirit to now move in and move, touch, and inspire the other person through our vulnerable share. So I hope this is helpful. There are so many things that can be said about this Venus-Neptune, and indeed, many people will say these things in different astrology transmissions. But it felt on my heart to not let this pass. Let me show you something else before we end. Let's get on the screen share and let's look at the Ephemeris. So here we have May of 2025. Here we are on May 2nd, Friday, and we're looking here at Venus. And she is at right now at 0 degrees, 43 seconds. And then let's look over at Neptune's at 1 degree, 7 seconds. So you can see they're very, very close. They're within seconds of each other. And if you look at Saturday, Sunday, Monday, what happens on Monday? So Monday, she's at 2 degrees and Neptune's at 1 degree. So some list this conjunction being over at this time, but no, they're still really connected. And if you look 3 degrees and then 1 degree. And so she's moving away. She's moving faster, but still they're in a conversation. This is 4 degrees apart. 7 and 1, 6 degrees apart, 7 degrees apart. See, right? And so here on around the 16th here, this is where Venus exits her post retrograde shadow. And this is where we really get a free Venus, free and clear, all the lessons learned. So what I'm really trying to say is in between this time, this whole time, like we've got 2 weeks here, in between this time, what we really want to focus on is allowing ourselves to embody the teachings. I'll stop the share of this Venus-Neptune conjunction in a way that when she's free and clear, she's taking that message with her. She's taking a new normal with her. She's taking the higher octave of love with her. She's really embodying the way of love, that Christ consciousness. And yes, we are going to be playing with that in our embodiment because the world is going to tightly squeeze us in some ways. There's going to be threats of war, threats of our stability, threats of our economic, threats of our well-being, of our even our bodies. And we must fight those and we must stand up for those. And we must do it from a higher frequency. And that's what I think is happening with this Neptune that's communicating with this Venus as she goes on her way throughout every house in your zodiac wheel. You can't make this up. It's a beautiful, poetic story of love. So receive the frequencies. Let's gather all the positive energy that we have generated and let's beam it out because, we know not everyone in this world, and really maybe hardly anyone in this world is feeling that love, is feeling loved. Or maybe they have moments of it, but they don't know how to integrate it into their lives, into their worlds. And that's why there's so many coaches, teachers, healers, leaders to show the way, way showers. Let's call us way showers. And so let's beam out to all humanity, all beings, seen, unseen, and envelop them in this love that we know to be the substrate of the reality. And may all beings benefit from the merits of our efforts.